everyone, welcome to DOdaily. It's Des here. Thursday Thoughts live. Just checking in as usual to say a few words. What I will say before I get going is apologies for no episode yesterday. Really struggling with illness right now. But I thought it'd be, whilst I am struggling, and I'm going to look to do a slightly condensed version of Thursday Thoughts. I thought it'd be a great opportunity to just get on and try and process the way I am thinking. Of course, I use DOdaily to sort myself out, trying to encourage others with a little bit of positivity and encouragement to try and stay motivated and keep going. And I'm having to dig deep right now, feeling really bad. But it's not critical, it's tonsillitis. It's one of those things, I kind of get it. It's seasonal. Should have known it was coming, talking about different things as I was earlier in the week. So it's just one of those where I've got to try and stay positive myself to get through it, and then hopefully build as the next few days go on. Of course, I always encourage participation. If anyone's got any comments to add, anything to any of the questions that have been asked, there is a few, or you want to add to the throwbacks, either last week's or the one coming up. It's the usual format. I'm just going to run through those and of course, offer my opinions and thoughts wherever I can. All light-hearted stuff, nothing too serious. I don't think I could cope with that right now, but I do encourage people to get involved. And of course, please give a thumbs up to the episode. That would be amazing for a start. Even if it's a sympathy thumbs up, I wouldn't mind that right now. Like I said, I'm really struggling. First time I've ventured very far away from bed or the sofa. Feel a little bit chilly now as well. So it's just a case of battling on. And sometimes that's what we have to do, isn't it? It's been a tricky week at best. I started it quite positive after the football match I went to on Monday evening, and I've come on and did my DOdaily, and I was feeling good about attacking the winter training and being out late and the cooler nights, but it's just not transpired that way. I spent a lot of time laid up, but again, these are the things that we have to deal with, aren't we? We never see illness coming, and sometimes it really gets to us and when it stops us in the tracks. But again, I've just got to deal with it the best I can. See, it's only temporary, like I say, there's nothing too serious, although it's not comfortable at the moment, and just crack on. That's what I'll be doing. Hopefully by the time the morning comes, I'll be ready for Wake Up to Walk and to put out an episode of that. It would definitely do me good to get out and get some fresh air. Not been anywhere either for a couple of days, so it's going to be, it will be really nice to get out and do that on a Friday. I always try and wrap everything up and finish it with some positivity. So hopefully things are a lot better than they are now. Like I say, if you've got anything to add, please do drop a comment. Please do drop a thumbs up. It's just a chance to get involved and support the channel, support what I'm doing here, just talking about different subjects. Of course, I share my passions, running, football, other subjects, but also just anything around mental health and encouragement and positivity, because we all have to sort of pay a little bit of attention to that from time to time, don't we? I'm not trying to rewrite the rules or preach at anybody, it's just my thoughts on the way things are. Getting into that throwback question, like I said, I am going to try and keep it as brief as possible today, so I will sort of crack through this. Throwback question last week: how do you keep going when something's difficult? I've been talking about being ill, already on this episode throughout this week, not feeling under the weather. And it's just the knowledge that I know I'm going to feel better soon. Got some slightly more exciting plans for the weekend, as I tend to have. I'll be going away to football again and then meeting up with one or two friends and extending the day out. Looking forward to that. Hopefully I am back fully fit by then, otherwise that won't be what it should be, but I'm definitely looking forward to it, and of course making the most of what I can after the week I've had. I'm definitely looking forward to the weekend. So that's one thing I do is look forward, because we have to, don't we? We have to be excited about things. We have to be positive. There's no point just brushing everything off like it doesn't matter. If we didn't have any enthusiasm, we'd all be miserable buggers and walk around with our head down. And there's no point in having that. Sometimes, because we can't help it, we end up like that. But wherever we can help ourselves, it's best that we do it. there's lots of ways, of course, of keeping yourself going. Kay says, I think about the reason I started it and remember why I'm doing it. Of course, every sort of periodically, almost every day, actually on DOdaily, I remind people that I started this as a bit of a self-improvement journey on my own from a bad place, not feeling great about myself. I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I have to remember on days like today when it is tough, and I do generally do it all of the time. I have missed one or two in recent weeks. Lots of big life-changing things happening and of course being ill. But I'll get back to that routine and pumping these out. And I remember on the days when I don't feel as positive as I probably should, I have to dig deeper and remember the reasons I do it. There's lots of reasons. The fact I didn't feel great, I bumped into somebody who unfortunately took his own life, and it gave me an extra purpose, and that's why I think it's important to communicate, keep talking. I've been having this conversation in several different places, even through being ill this week, that it's important to communicate and try and find a way to understand why people want to help and such thing. So again, that's a great answer from Kay, isn't it? It's a great example of what I'm asking. Charlie says, I think a way to reward myself. Of course, that's great as well, isn't it? I think to the running, the medals you get when you complete an event, or if you do a diet, for example, you might think of a little treat here and there. These things are important. We have to have these small things, small wins sometimes to keep us ticking over, to keep us enjoying what we do. Otherwise, it becomes a bit too much at times. We can get a bit fed up. You end up sort of not taking any enjoyment from the things you do. So it's important to just keep your eyes on the prize. I remember when I started my weight loss journey, which was before I really realised that I was going to go and do some of the things I did. I'd almost allow myself a few beers at the weekend, and by allowing them at the weekend after the end of the conventional working week, it almost then stopped me at any other time I had an urge. So it's important to throw in rewards too. I think that's a real good one to remember. Leanne says, I tackle it as a challenge and think of how good I'll feel when it's done. Of course, the feel good from completing something. I'm always challenging myself, and if I'm really honest, I've not been fantastic at completing them this year, but I do show my flaws. I do show where it goes wrong. What I have done over the last couple of years is find a way to get it done in the end, and thinking about how good you feel, remembering that feeling. I have to dig deep sometimes with the running, for example, and remember how those endorphins feel when you've been out and done a good run. Remember those really good times when you feel strong and physically strong and well and things like that. I'm feeling ill now, so it's definitely something to cling on to, something to motivate me and inspire me as well, to get fit again. It's a thing right now that I want to do that. I've got big aims over the winter, but feeling the way I do, I want to reduce that a little bit. I've probably been ill more often than I should be because I haven't quite done some of the things I should have done. So again, I can use this as a little bit of motivation to keep going. Got a comment there from Eve. Hi Des, I hope you're okay. Are you feeling better now? I've done plenty of exercise this week. Well done on the exercise. Of course, I'm always looking to encourage that. And I just been saying there how I understand it can help people and the endorphins get going. I'm feeling okay. I'm a little bit better. I'm here. I wouldn't say I'm feeling great, but cracking on. I've been saying that so far in the episode. So really looking forward to start to feel better. Of course, it's great to get that feedback. There was a snapshot of some of them there. If you've got anything to add during the episode, any comments to make, I'd love to receive those. Please give the episode a thumbs up. Before I move into the questions, I'll just give that a shout out. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'm really looking to get on top of DOdaily and really get back into my good routines that I seem to have all the time in the world during COVID and setting up the channel. But like everything, I talk about it. I pride myself on the fact that I was getting an episode out every day on time and at the right time. But I also talk about that if it doesn't work, let's not beat ourselves up too much. Let's just make it better going forward, and that's all we can do, isn't it? So be great if you can get behind me and the channel. I'm really looking, like I say, I'm really looking to put lots of effort back into it. So a couple of questions today. Like I say, I've mentioned it a few times. I'm trying to condense it down, probably talking a little bit quickly as well, to be honest. It's not helping my throat, but I'll probably slow down a bit now when I mention that. But what's your favourite thing about autumn, Louise? I touched on this earlier in the week, didn't I? On Monday's episode, I was talking about how it can cool down. I like my activity in the autumn. When the nights are sort of drawing in and getting out, sort of in the dusk, when just at the start of just at the start of when it gets dark, that kind of thing. It's a bit cooler. It's a bit easier in terms of breathing and getting around. It can be a little bit too cold at times, but I actually like getting out there in the rain and the difficult conditions. Again, it makes me feel like it makes it feel a little bit epic and like I've achieved something. So that's what I really take from it. I touched on a couple of weeks ago, I think, how autumn, it's a time of year that doesn't scare me. Some people suffer from seasonal affective disorder where they really get fed up when the nights draw in, it starts getting cold, we don't see much daylight. I try and do as much as I can to make sure I get my daylight in. So when it's dark at night, I just find the positives in terms of my activity, a way to get out there. We probably don't do quite as much in terms of meeting up with people and going out and things like that as we do in the summer. But again, find positives in terms of spending time with Kay and nights in, duvet nights and things like that. And of course, now we've got little Stan, so we're going to make the most of him, sort of bed down as a little family and really, really enjoy that. So that's what I'm looking forward to after this particularly busy time. I feel it's time to just do that a little bit as well. Just not worry too much about what we're not doing. Just do what we can. So appreciate that question. If you've got any comments on the back of that, it'd be fantastic to hear what your thoughts are too. Question 2, are you looking forward to the World Cup? John? Well, as anybody knows, I tend not to sort of talk too much about football, but it's a strange one this year, isn't it, the World Cup? It's in the autumn, so it gives me a little bit of a reason to look forward to it. Although England aren't great at the moment, so I don't know how long that's going to last. In reality, I'd much rather the World Cup been in the summer and been able to keep watching Forest. Whilst I am an England fan and I don't want to sort of split the two, I'm a Forest fan and an England fan. I'd rather just keep watching the Premier League. We've waited for so long for it to come back. It's not as great as it has been, but I want us to turn the corner and give it a real go. And I just rather keep seeing those games. But it is what it is at the end of the day. I can't change that. No. Sorry, my voice is really starting to go now. Really, I can't change that. Nobody can. So it's just something we're going to have to embrace again, isn't it? And I'm sure when the World Cup comes around, like it always does, especially if England win 1 or 2 matches, everybody gets excited and gets involved and feels a part of it. Next time it comes back in the summer, we'll really appreciate how we sort of make the most of the World Cup, sitting outside, enjoying beers in the sun, that kind of thing. It might just remind us of why we do really, really enjoy it. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Give us something to watch every night on those dark nights when we can't do too much else. So kind of ties in with that first one as well. Let me know what you think. Are you looking forward to the World Cup? Like I say, don't always make this about football, but definitely looking to get some great responses to that as well. And talking about responses, I'm going to sort of end the episode as I always do. We had a snapshot of responses at the start on that question. But what's your favourite thing about autumn? If you're watching live, please drop it in the comments. It's easy. There's no wrong answers. All I'm looking to do is try and help people understand that if they've got a favourite thing or they do something and they don't realise it's okay to do it or it's something to embrace, just try and let people know that there's no wrong answer to this sort of thing. We can all do what we want and get the most from it. People question what I do all the time. Whether it's when I started running, people question me. When I start a YouTube channel, people question me. But as long as we enjoy it, as long as we get something from it, I know it can help some others. I've had the comments in the last week or two of people saying you've really helped me with my channel, and just showing that I can actually do something to do something for themselves. So all that's great, and that's all that's about. It's just trying to inspire and motivate people just to sort of be happy and content and do what they need to do. Of course, I've already mentioned it. The next episode of DOdaily will be Wake Up to Walk tomorrow. Definitely going to get out there if I'm there. Definitely going to do an episode. I think it's important to try and sum the week up. Having missed the episode yesterday, and not felt fantastic. I want to start feeling good again. I want to get that real positivity going, that real enthusiasm for the things I do. And if I am feeling better, I'll feel better about what I've got planned for Saturday. So I'll be absolutely buzzing and ready to go. Taking a time out almost from the harsh realities of being ill, the working week, things that you still got to fit in here, there, and everywhere. I'll be really, really up for it. But that's when to tune in. What I will say, if you've got any comments to make, probably should have stuck this up at the start, or anything you want to sort of get in touch, all the social medias there. Please follow me on the channels for DOdaily, or on my personal social media at Des Oldham. Always open and welcome. We'll always follow back. It's what I do. I'm just trying to sort of encourage everybody to encourage each other and be part of one big happy family, I guess, without being too wishy-washy about it. Probably just that's all we really want, is people to be positive about what they're doing. And when we're all in it together, it rubs off on each other as well, doesn't it? It's just a case of pressing on. And that's where I'm at right now, pressing on to a point where I feel a lot better. Thank you to those that have watched. Anybody watching after the episode, still drop your comments on the video, on any of the social media. Like I say, I'll pick them up. If you've got any questions for next week, please contact me. You can use any of those links as well, or email des@dorunning.org.uk. For this particular episode of Thursday Thoughts, like I said, I was going to keep it brief. I appreciate all the support. I'm going to get back under the duvet, get a bit of food, and hopefully get an early night. Just doing it.